with these. When you jump from mic to mic to mic, not really sure what's working, what's not. But either way, we're in the post game, the overtime, and I want to try to make this a habit of after the show to make another show, right? A quick recap or just I guess practice is always a good excuse. It's always a good reason to show up and try to do a little bit more. Research, try to see what's working, what's not working, what people resonate with, what brings people in, what brings new viewers in, new subscribers, and also to get better with your equipment. That's probably a really important thing. But we had a live stream, and again, I want to be able to in I'm trying to look at it in 5 years time, in that far along. Um, how's it sound? Good, bad? Anything I need to change? Position? Oh yeah, I wanted to test something. Perfect. All right, we won't mess with perfect. So I want to see if while this is live, I can see it on YouTube, maybe on my laptop. Imagine maybe just on another phone, and I could be in the chat. That would be incredible. Two phones. Anyway, the point is I want to create just like this system of, I'm up there talking, and the more I do it, the more I really enjoy it. Right? The more I really just enjoy riffing, going back and forth, sharing a little bit of humor with you guys, so you guys can see different sides. But I like the idea of like a post show, right? A chill, and for now we'll use the guise of trying to you know suss out and get better at this game, just like we do the morning workout. I want to try to do that at least. I can probably commit to two. Uh, Probably easily commit to at least two a week. If you guys want to join me, want to get it in, I think you should. But I get it. I also get it's early. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's early for a lot of people, and people aren't really with that early morning working out. What's that? It ain't for everybody. But look, that being said, better for you, right? Yeah, easy after hours. That's an excellent label. Someone write that down. By someone, I mean me. That's something that you should just sort of, I should just go along and sort of do. Ah, damn. I'm in the chat, but it's delayed. Hmm. Yeah, having that in my ear would probably drive me crazy. So we'll leave that alone. Yeah. So yeah, after hours, and again, it's probably going to be focused on whatever was most focused on the chat. But as it's new, to be fair, we don't get a lot of people that are viewing. And I think I just want to create a high quality product that people eventually will find it and be like, damn, I wish I'd been watching this thing. You know, oh hello, how you doing? I wish that people look and be like, oh shit, damn, where's this been all this time? I want to follow this. This is entertaining. I want to contribute to this. So we always try to put the best foot forward, creating a little system, a little after hours, easy after hours. I think would be dope. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, hit the like button, just to get that algorithm sort of revving in our favor because it's 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 a grind. It's a grind. Yeah. You at the door? I gotta knock a little harder. Um, but one of the things for the week that we talked about is how we started the live stream, the actual live stream. You can catch it now. I made it live. Production, right? Oh, let's I appreciate you. Um, Made a production, and I think people want to be entertained. And after a long week, you deserve to be entertained. By the way, next live stream, instead of Sunday, it's going to be Thursday. So don't make plans, right? Don't make plans going out. I mean, my girl's gonna go out on the town. Nah, Thursday I want to see ya in the chat. Bop, 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 going back and forth with me. And I still got to upload the videos for tomorrow, but that's all on me. That's my doing. That's what I'm supposed to do. Um, so Corey, Anton, and what I talked about in the chat is I got respect for both of them, right? Both of them in their respective moves, both of them in respective squad. I think they're on their way to be titans in their spaces. I think Anton is savvy on that academia, on that monetary level. He's looking at his views, what's important to him, and he's pushing that. Yeah, the conservative. Yeah, sometimes he shits on the black race, and he's openly doing that. And I kind of hold him to a higher bar when it comes down to, oh, you know better. When the way you kind of you're better with your words, you're better at sliding things in there. But I like your work ethic. I like when someone is on their way up, and because I've watched him from when he had 400,000 subscribers. I've seen him go here in spaces where you would think a black man's not really welcome, and he just said his piece and said his piece. And yeah, there's a lot of things I straight up don't agree with, but I like to be one of those people like I don't got to agree with everything you got to say, right? Whatever you got going on, you got going on. But the more that work ethic, that's what I look at him and say, especially when I started my channel and I had like 3, 4 subscribers. And I see him with 6, 700, 800,000 posting twice a day. And I said, if that's the competition, how can I be doing less? How can I be posting less? I need to be I need to be matching that hustle. I need to be moving, shaking. Bop, 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 bop. All right. So that's how I set my mind. I'm looking at Anton like everything else you've done in your life, discipline wise, I know I could put forth my effort and discipline and use that to compete with other men. You may not like the results I get, you may like this, but in terms of showing up all the time, hey, how you doing? Right? How you doing, Red? In terms of showing up, I show up, right? I can commit to showing up. Not a problem. Not a problem. Right? Corey, Corey Holcomb's is funny. He's funny. I've seen a couple of his shows, one I saw in Dallas. And when I see people be able to riff, to talk with the crowd, to go back and forth, that's a different level of intellect and wit that we don't really give people enough credit for until you're sitting across from them, right? Until you're sitting there and it's like, you're really good at this. Wit is something that needs to be honed. There's a base level of talent, and then there's craftsmanship. Craftsmanship. You always got their friends that are really good, always have a comeback, always have something witty to say, and it's funny. It's poignant. It hits. It's not just it's out the box. It makes sense. It's good. That to me, comedians are really good at that, especially comedians that can go in the crowd, that can talk, that can move, that can shake. All that's are impressive. So I'm looking at two very impressive men in their spills, and they're black. So when there's this opportunity for them to collab, and then it goes south, it's like that kind of sucks, right? That kind of sucks. It you. I want to be. I'm being hyperbolic, right? I'm not saying this is Martin and Malcolm coming together and tag team. No, it's not. No, it's nothing like that. But when you see two people doing well in their spaces, both have faults. Both absolutely have faults. But you want to look at me like, yo, okay, what's this? I'm hoping we can get a high level conversation out of this. I'm hoping we can all walk away with something like, okay, this is good. This is clippable. This is moving the race forward a bit. But when it's just, all right, now, were just sitting inches from each other, just yelling and screaming back and forth. I walked away just feeling more disappointed than anything. So when you saw a lot of reactions, and I guess it's easy, it's the default position for us to start taking sides and say, "Oh, he won and he won." I think we all lost, right? You know, why don't I become a correction officer? I don't got the heart for that, bro. I don't get the heart for that. I can't be. Don't get me wrong. Some of the correction officers I've met in my life, some of the nicest people, absolute nicest people, fantastic people. But it takes something special for you to be able to see that, leave that alone, and go back home. Um, but again, I don't have the heart to see something like that daily. That sort of that grind, that suffering, how that changes you and inadvertently changes you as well. Yeah, I don't want any parts of that. But I have a lot of friends that have done that, and more power to them. Some callings call you, if that makes sense. But when we saw Corey Holcomb and Anton Downs go back and forth with this, and I was thinking at some point in time, someone's going to de-escalate this. Someone's going to like smooth this whole thing out, and we're all going to be like, "Oh shit, we're better for it." Nah, it didn't go like that at all. It just kept escalating, and even when Corey was calling him out, telling him about like you know basically saying, "Yo, you were asking for me to bring this shorty on the show. I don't know her." And it's like, I get where that is. I think we've all been there in that sense when we're grasping at straws and we're throwing everything against the wall. Everything that's been upsetting us, everything that's been on our mind, we're just throwing it out there, throwing it out there, throwing it out there, throwing it out there. And on Anton's side, I think Anton is very good at that passive aggressive, underhanded, sort of commentary, and then blowing up afterwards almost like, yo, could you believe this? Look at this. It's incredible. Wow, it's wow. This reflects blah, 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 blah. But I really truly think when we're involved in stuff like that, when I'm screaming at a man this close to my face, yeah, man, I think I'm the loser. Whatever someone did to get me out of pocket like that, I think I lost. I like to look at it like that. And especially when you deal with women. Women are very good at getting you out of pocket. But your emotion for that gets you out of pocket. You're trying to fight them emotionally, trying to follow them like that. That gets you out of pocket. When you're screaming at another man and tell him to come outside, what are we hoping to do? Like, what's the goal there? If he came outside, then what? Let's say they fought, right? Let's say, for instance, they fought, and someone you beat someone up. Does that invalidate their position? Right? Does that make them the winner? Does that make you the loser? What happens if you beat someone up? I think we leave that alone a lot of times. What happens? I beat you up, so your point is invalid. That's not really how anything works. Was there things that either person was saying that made sense? Probably, probably. But we lost so much context. We lost so much. Would any of this made sense? We don't have a chance to really know. We have a chance to follow. We just see the fallout. And then the most concerning thing is our sort of obsession with calling a winner or loser. I think we all lost with that experience. It's Will Smith and Chris Rock with the slap. We all lost. Like there were no real winners there. There's no one that could say, no, I benefited from this. I was the winner. This and this happened. No, we all lost. Witnessing that and then watching the people we elevate in these spaces, watching them clap for that sort of behavior, so that violence against another black man. That's what we watch someone advocating violence towards another black man. Anton telling you to step outside. Then what? More talk? How does that do any of us any good? And for those of us that are looking for that, looking to find a winner, I think that reflects more about us, where we are, where our stance is, where you tend to fall. Are you more like Corey? You more Chicago? Are you more like Anton, like Detroit? Which neither of those sound appetizing, but like are you more like Detroit, more like Chicago? Like not none of those. Um, But either way, that back and forth, nah, that's not how you win. That none of that makes any sense to me. Right? None of that makes any sense to me. But it's what drives our community. I think the thing that disappointed me more was both of them are big in the space and realize the the potency of the black male image, the importance of it. And then when it is used in such a way, in a negative way, I think it so you see that game. You see how it's going to be used and you sort of lay into it, you lean into it. And especially, for this, I lean a lot more towards Anton, where you've operated in those spaces where you were probably thought as less than, and you had to show up with more talent, more work ethic, more ability, more of an understanding, more of a grace. And then what happens when you get around black people? I think, and it's unfortunate to say, sometimes just going along with some of the things he often says about the black community, I think that disdain that he feels is kind of pushing through. So you're looking just the same way. And had this conversation last night, where sometimes you look at someone and they are reflective of a thing you're very fearful of for yourself. You may be afraid of being fat, so you were overly harsh towards fat people, where you look at that and you judge it because you are worried you could be that. That person didn't say a thing to you, didn't have anything to do, wasn't wrong in any sort of light, but to you, you're afraid of that. So what happens? You come down harder on it. I think that's what Anton was doing. You're very much upset about black people and how they move and how you're not, you work so hard to separate yourself from them. So that when you have this opportunity, you see someone like Corey, who's very much entrenched in the black sort of culture, lives and breathes it and thrives off of it. You look and you say, this can't be me. But the real thing, the real deal is like you'll never be anything but who you are. You'll never be anything but a black man, a successful black man, but you don't, there's no race change. It's not an RPG. There's not an ability to go from this to that. This is who you are. And there's some circles where people are always going to view you like that. The worst thing or the most ineffectual thing you can do is harp on other black people and somehow feel as if they're wrong, they're bad, because this helps separate you from them. That doesn't work. And then with Corey, you never beef with a comedian. Right? You never beef with a comedian because they can dedicate all that talent and effort towards you. And there's times when you're having conversations with people and you guys are not speaking the same language. You guys are coming from different sides of the track, and neither person is trying to extend an olive branch to see, yo, this is what I'm talking about. This is what it means. This is what's important to me. You just leave it at that, and now you guys would just end up clashing. What could have been a very productive meeting between two black men, two successful black men in their respective spaces, ended up just being, an internet moment where we're just looking and saying, yeah, this is who we are now. And if we're not cognizant about changing that image, we're responsible for the degradation of it. So it sucks, right? All that. We say all that to say it effing sucks. I wish it was better. But again, if you're new here, hit the like button on your way in. When you way out, consider subscribing to the channel. For those of you that have, I appreciate it. This is the wrap up uh live stream show. We'll try to do yeah, I think tomorrow morning we'll do another gym run, gym live stream, because I'm banking on people have quit their New Year's resolutions and they're not going to be in the gym. They're not going to be getting after it. But we're going to be there, getting some work in, uh, showing them, all right, man, discipline, doesn't really care about holidays. Tomorrow I got a full day, but I want to start it definitely in the gym. Start the week right. If you're into that, hopefully I'll see you. And it'll be early, like 5:30, 5:45. You'll see my ugly mug there. Um, we'll be doing what we can do. We're trying to do more lives So they're really good just for that back and forth interaction. And I know, like most things, you weren't good when you started it. And it's sort of humbling talking sometimes into the void. But this is how a lot of people started. And we'll pay our dues. We'll do what we have to do to sort of make this happen. That's that's my goal. And I think it's reflected in the channel where we're just talking in terms of discipline. And again, Anton, right? Watching him post, watching him hustle, watching him work. For someone that reportedly already has all this wealth, has already done well, he's working. And I can look at that and I can say, I appreciate that. Let me steal some of that. Let me borrow some of that. That's got to be my takeaway from this. I hate seeing people beef. I hate seeing black people beef. I'm not saying I don't like gossip. I like gossip. I enjoy gossip. You know, that's always fun. But in terms of that, the next live stream, I think we'll do Thursday. Like I said in the beginning of this, and we'll try to make it fun. Try to make it like a whole production again. I think that's always fun. So until then, guys, I'll see you in the next one.